What's up guys, how you all doing? Cosmic Carry here, bringing you another World of Tanks video. For those of you that are new here, please feel free to subscribe to my channel, and my regular viewers and subscribers, hello, welcome one and all. And today we shall be doing a review on the M4 Sherman. As you know, I have started my Road to Commander series, unlocking the American mediums, ultimately leading to the tier 10 M48 pattern, and currently I am on the tier 5s and in the M4 Sherman. Childhood favorite of mine. I know I'm doing a tank review, but it is a childhood favorite of mine because I grew up watching those movies, Bridge Too Far, Kelly's Heroes, you know, with my dad, little pipsqueak of a shit that I was. And Shermans, you always saw Shermans, you know, you always saw Shermans. So I love this tank. It's a childhood favorite, even though I do like the German ones. But anyway, tier 5 American medium M4 Sherman. I am having a blast in this thing. I love this thing. It's so versatile, mobile. You can use it, you know, it's a multitasking, do this job, do that job kind of tank. You can use it for anything. It kind of depends on what tier game you'd land in. As you can see, it rolls all the way up till tier 7. So you know, if you get into a heavy tier 5 game, you know, with tier 4 tanks, you're gonna have a blast. You're gonna have loads of fun. You can one shot the enemy team. You know, depending on the package that you choose, two very different guns on this thing. When you tend to roll out in the higher tier games, that's a little bit different. I mean, like I said, it goes up to tier 7. I kind of switch it up when I roll out into those games. I play as a scout basically, because your armor is weak, and those tier 7 tanks, I mean, they can take you out in the blink of an eye. So you know, you got to change it up. You got to adapt to the situation, etc., etc. But like I said, of course, it depends on which package you choose, because you know, there's two very different guns, so to speak. So let's take a look at the stats of the M4 Sherman. As you can see, it has 460 hit points, which I believe is average for tier 5 mediums. Engine power and speed, very good, very quick, very nimble tank. So you can kind of multitask it. You know, you can use it as a medium, or you can use it as a scout. Very good for holding down hills, you know, the side of the hills when the bad guys are on the opposite side. You can pop out and take pot shots, pull back, you know, ducking in and out of cover. As you can see, the Achilles heel of the M4 Sherman is basically its armor, which isn't that fantastic, not that great. So that's your weakness, and you need to protect that. We'll get into the packages, into the gun in just a moment. And view range 370, pretty good. Traverse speed, any of you that are noobs, or you know, wondering what, you know, traverse speed is, as you can see, the turret traverse and the traverse speed of the, pardon me, of the actual tank is, both of them are at 37. 90 degrees is basically from facing forwards to either facing left or right. So to make that 90 degrees, it's going to take you about 2 seconds. That's what traverse speed is, degrees per second. Just for, you know, I don't just cater to the tier 10 players, etc., etc. So when it comes to the M4 Sherman, in my personal humble opinion, there are two packages that are, you know, the most important packages that you're going to be considering when rolling out in this thing, and that's the 105mm and the 76. And it's totally up to you. It's, you know, it's basically how you want to play the tank, and it also depends on what tier games you end up playing. 105mm. If you take a look at the rate of fire, 7.5 shells per second. Penetration lousy, damage excellent. So you get into higher tier games, you're going to have a tough time penning. You get into lower tier games, you're going to be one-shotting a lot of people. So it just totally depends on, you know, what kind of game you get into. Ideally, you know, you'd love to know what game you're about to get into and choose the gun accordingly. But you know, it doesn't work out that way. So, and we take a look at the 76mm, much higher rate of fire, 14.3, penetration pretty good, and the damage so-so. But it's the two totally different guns, and two totally different purposes. I would prefer rolling out in this gun because it's all about unloading. You know, shells on target. You know, you can have fantastic damage on the 105, but to me it's all about shots on target, getting those shots on target. You know, as many as you can, and that's it. That's my personal opinion. So as you can see, we're on Komarin. I'm in my little M4 Sherman, and this is a game battle where I am equipped with the 104 gun, and you're gonna, as you can see, it's predominantly a tier 5, tier 4, and tier 3 tank battle match, and basically I have the perfect gun for this match because it has low penetration but high damage, which is perfect for this kind of game battle. Absolutely perfect, and I'm going to be taking full advantage of the gun that I have equipped, and I'm about to demonstrate exactly what I'm talking about. Unbelievable. What a morale booster. What a unbelievable. I couldn't believe that. What a fantastic way to open up a game and get that first kill, and a 1 kill to boot. But yeah, so it's a very high damage and very low penetration, less effective on the higher tier games. The slower rate of fire, you know, to compensate the fact for the higher damage. And you're gonna see me rolling in this tank, holding down. A lot of respect for the Lux players, because you know they could be very higher tier players, you know, because it rolls up. I believe it goes all the way up to the tier 8, so that they could be very experienced players. But you're gonna be see how basically how mobile and versatile this tank is. I'm going to be holding down this hill here and duking it out with the bad guys on the opposite side, and as you can see there's a toaster over there, and I get a very nice shot in on the toaster. My buddy Owen, who's playing with me, is actually rolling in a toaster. He's heading down the German TD ultimately to get his Waffentrager, so good times ahead for him. Of course, I was considering getting the Waffentrager. So as you can see, I'm trying to hopefully hoping this little Lux here is going to make a mistake and pull back. I'm going to see him a couple more times. He's a pretty smart guy. He's not pulling out. But as you can see, there's a humongous enemy flank here on the other side of this hill, and you're going to see the Sherman basically how quick it is, how nimble it is, just pulling up, taking advantage of its speed, just taking quick pot shots at the bad guys. What do we see on the other side? KV1, Churchill, Lux still doing its little thing there, scooting up and down. It's like I said, you know, you got to have respect for those guys, you know, because they could be very experienced. And what do we see here? Little Valentine, KV1, I've heard of you, set his engine on fire. A lot of respect for the KV1, of course. Engine fire still going, still blazing. And we scooting for another shot. Expose myself somewhat, and it's all about risk, you know, risk and reward. How much do you want to risk, you know, and for what kind of reward? I risked somewhat there to get that KV1, but the reward was I took out the KV1. So you always got to evaluate, you know, what you're doing. You know, don't go too far, don't go push too hard. Valentine, nice hit, pull back. Yep, I'm willing to risk because I'm gonna get a kill. So just like I said, it's all about risk and reward. At the same time, you know, You got to keep an eye on your hit points. So the KV1 was taken out, the second KV1, and all that's left on the opposite side over here is a Churchill. And I look behind me and I see there's a bunch of scouts, and I'm thinking to myself, scouts, okay, you know, I'm duking it out, but you know, very, very, very lucky shot here, very lucky shot. And I'm thinking to myself, the scouts need to help me out. They need to pull up, and you know, we can triangulate our attack or something. Of course, they're just little scouts. I believe they're Luxes basically, and try to go here for a second lucky shot. Now you don't get lucky that many times. Getting a little bit nervous here. Of course, haven't unlocked my sixth sense. A little bit worrying because the shells are whizzing past me. Very apprehensive here because I know there's a Churchill up ahead, so I have much respect for the Churchill, of course, and I instruct my teammates, come on guys, let's go, let's do something, let's attack. There's either 4 of them behind me, that makes 5 of us. We can do something here, we have to push forward. So looking out for the Churchill, look, I see a red dot. It doesn't register that, you know, the Churchill is up ahead. And there we go, finally. Very apprehensive. Get a nice shot in on the Churchill. He disappears. We're good to go. We can move up. He was the last remaining gentleman from that enemy flank that just got decimated. Nice speed on this thing, very nice speed. I must say it's very nice to be playing this map. I haven't played this map in donkey's years. On the tier 10s and tier 9s it doesn't feature at all, I would say. Checking the map. The map is your best friend. Come on compadre, let's go. Little Lux here. Finally a scout is up ahead of me, doing his job. Have a little poke. What do we see? We see a TD. Does anybody see me? Like I said, I'm facing a rock, a little bit unfamiliar with this map. I want to push through basically. I'm hoping this scout will kind of get ahead, you know, get dug in deep and, you know, light them up for me, but he's just not budging, he's not moving, so I kind of shove him along, and I like how he turns around slowly like, what the hell are you doing? And finally I see the Churchill, smart guy, he's pulled back all the way. Like I said, you got to show respect. And he did the smart thing, you know, he pulled back to the safety of his compadres. Get my first kill. Good to go. As you can see, that scout that was on this bridge has pulled back, and I was hoping he'd push forward, but no. So I'm forced to move on ahead and take them on. Oh, pardon me, I said first kill. That was a silly statement. Looks like my ribbons have glitched out. And I finally get taken out. Good game nonetheless, good game nonetheless. And if we take a look at those nice stats, pick up the, pardon me, the Mastery Badge and Master Gunner, good to go. Get a nice bit of silver. I think almost every single game in this thing I've had positive silver. So really a very rewarding tank and a nice long list. I always like a nice long list. And pick up top spot with 1600 damage, 1300 XP. Good to go. Good to go. And moving on, we're on the Widepark with the 76mm gun, I do believe, which is a higher rate of fire, higher penetration, but less damage. So, like I said in World of Tanks, it all evens out, it all balances out. This is my preferred gun when I'm on this in my Sherman, because for me it's all about getting those shots on target. I want to be pounding as quick as I can, you know, because I'm playing against other tanks that are really quick and really nimble. They're going to disappear oh so fast, so I want to get those shots in as quick as I can. The derp out there for a second, push up way too far. I'm used to playing in those heavy tanks, and I wasn't expecting basically to go so far. And as you can see, if I haven't mentioned before, we're on Widepark, and the bad guys are heavily concentrating their efforts on the left-hand side of the map. So I decided, it's got to be a slaughter fest here. Better to retreat and take the other side and see what we can do over there. As you can see, the reload speed is ever so slightly quicker. Not ever so slightly, but much quicker. What can we see? Pardon me, I failed to mention this. Predominantly tier 6 game. Eyeballing this Churchill. I'm gonna be duking it out with this Churchill for a while. So I've moved on to the right hand side of the map in an effort to see if I can be effective here. And I eyeball the artillery. Managed to get a nice little shot in there. Reduces health by half. Pardon me. You can see it's very quick, very nimble tank. Pull up and down, relocate. As you can see, I'm more playing as a scout really here, you know, because there's higher tier tanks. I'm being more cautious, more careful because of my weak armor. And I know there's a Churchill on my right hand side. That's basically, yep, there he is. That's what I'm being cautious about. That's got to be apprehensive. He misses. I bounce. I'm auto locked. I unlock. Because you concentrate on your movements, I do like to auto aim sometimes. You do get sometimes those shots. He's distracted. Don't manage to zoom in. No. Now I'm detected. Like I said, I don't have the sixth sense unlocked yet. Shells whizzing past me. And I'm kind of considering, should I give up on this Churchill? And I do indeed notice my compadres pushing up. So I think, okay, just leave him be. Let's move on. And I'm going to be using this VK3601 as a little bit of cover. He's in front of me, kind of distracting everybody. And I'm going to take some nice pot shots on this Hellcat, maneuvering myself. This Hellcat, his attention is mostly focused on the gentleman that's in front of me. Good to go, little Sherman. And this is actually kind of interesting because I believe this is, I think this is part of 1.3 update. I shot through a wall and I inflicted damage. I got the kill on the artillery. If I recall, or maybe it wasn't part of this update, you'd have to take out a wall usually and then take out the bad guy on the opposite side. So I think that's, you know, new, and I'm kind of checking this gentleman here out because I believe that's my next tank after this one. Oh, 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 don't want to knock over that tree. Alert anyone. Matilda tier 4. No joy there. Scooting up, scooting up. And there's that Churchill. And this I can't believe. I kind of consider it a free kill, basically. He's totally distracted by somebody else. Doesn't even manage to turn his turret. Get some very nice shots in on his backside. And I pick up the kill. Good to go. But unfortunately, the fact that I don't have 6th sense lets me down. Kablamo. Nonetheless, good game. 3 kills. Yeah, happy with that. Let's take a look at those stats. I hope you guys enjoyed my review of the M4 Sherman. I understand that nobody's doing reviews of tanks on Xbox 360, so if it's going to be me, it's going to be me. I'm totally fine with that. And I will be doing reviews of all the tanks leading up to the M48 pattern. I hope you guys enjoyed. Credit where credit is due. When it came to unlocking the packages, etc., of course I went to Jingles and Quickie Baby, their YouTube channel, so much respect to them. Credit where credit is due, like I said. And I understand that there's other reviews, the PC reviews, but nobody's, like I said, nobody's doing 360. If it's gonna be me, it's gonna be me. I'm totally fine with that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Take it easy. Adios, muchachos.